¿Qué pasa, mi amigos? Nima here, and today I wanted to start off the series where we review different games from subscription services. There's so many sub-services out there, and they have so many different games, it looks overwhelming, so I thought it would be cool to just kind of go through them pretty much A through Z and tell you what games are worth your time. Now, this is a deep dive, and this is going to take forever, but we're going to have fun with it. So I wanted to start off with Nintendo Switch Online, and I found a couple games there to highlight, but before I get to that, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button for your chance to win one free hug and a 20-minute phone call. I can be your free counselor. Now, I'm not qualified, but I can do it. Anyway, before we get into the main feature, there's kind of a bonus game I want to talk about just briefly, and that being Balloon Fight. Balloon Fight is a ton of fun. It's a simple little game where you just kind of flap around and you pop up like enemies' balloons, and then you basically try to crush them, and then you move on, and they try to crush you too. It's interesting, it's fun. It's just one of those like addictively quick little games. You can easily spend like 20 or 30 minutes playing it before you realize that you've spent that much time playing something so basic. But anyway, aside from that, the game I want to talk about is Crystallus. Crystallus is a game I've never even heard of, to be honest, and it's basically like one of the first action RPGs I've come across, at least from like the NES like days, I should say. And as I'm playing it, I kind of thought, like, did Nintendo look at this and use this as kind of a way to develop The Legend of Zelda, like Link to the Past? Now, I understand it has the same kind of fighting mechanics a little bit as the original Zelda, but it seems like a lot of the stuff that they implemented in this game later on got used in Link to the Past. It would just be interesting to see if like somebody worked on it or if there's any connection there. But anyway, in this game, you have a traditional leveling system where every enemy you beat will add another experience point, and to the point where you finally can level up. Problem is, this is old school. Like, this is really old school, and so leveling takes a long time. Each enemy is only worth about 1 XP, so yeah, you can grind for forever. But at the same time, the battling is not turn-based. In fact, it's action RPG, like I said before, just wide open, kind of button mashing. At the same time, you also have all the awesome RPG elements like equipment, upgrades, skills, magic, all of that stuff is there. So essentially, the story of this game is very vague, but kind of comes into the world was at war, and it got so engulfed in this war that it somehow tilted the Earth on its axis, and every living creature was mutated. There was some survivors though, you being one of them. But these survivors erected this like tower where they ascended into the heavens. And when you kind of come to, you're in a cave, you were like possibly in some stasis, I'm not exactly sure. You come out and the cave blows up. Everyone was expecting you because they say you're there to like save the world, but from what, how, I don't know. They don't really make that clear, and that's fine. Like, that's the way that a lot of these games work. But you take on your job as the new savior and you try to, complete your quests and save the world. This game is really fun though. I put a lot more time into it than I thought I would, and I can say, like, without a doubt that this is definitely one of my more favorite early NES games, and I'm glad I checked it out, because again, I'd never heard of it before this. You get the ability to name your own character, as well as do some side quests, meet some NPCs. There's a lot here, there really is. There is some bad though, and I will say, like, for one, your character is like super fast. Like, it's almost, it takes you out of it a little bit. Like, the controls are pretty loose, I should say. And the other thing too is there isn't an interact button, which is really kind of annoying, because as you're running around a town, you'll just constantly run into people and talk to them automatically. So everything you run into will automatically make a connection, and that's really kind of annoying, because you could end up talking to the same person 4 or 5 times in a row, but really you're just trying to get around them so you can go into like the item shop. There's also not a lot of hand-holding. In fact, there's no hand-holding. You pretty much gotta figure it out for yourself, which is, it's old school, that's how they used to do it. And I would say the other thing that I do kind of have a problem with, like I said before, was the grindiness of it. Like, something like Shin Megami Tensei 5 is, you have to grind, but this is way over that. Like, this is insane how much you actually have to grind. Like, you literally have to put down somewhere like maybe 60, 70 enemies just to get to level 2. That's a lot, and you just kind of run around. Money is also pretty scarce here, so like all your resources and all that stuff is very valuable. But at the same time, it's not that difficult just because of the ARPG like elements that are involved in it. So ultimately, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you're looking for a good game to play, this is a good one to start with, especially if you're really wanting to take advantage of the NES Virtual Console Crystallus is a good start. By the way, I could use some of you OGs to let me know if I'm pronouncing that right, because I'm not really sure. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you. Next game we're going to do, I believe, will be the Donkey Kongs. We'll see how fun they are. Anyway, I'm wishing you guys health, wealth, and above all, I hope you guys are truly happy. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much.